Dropstream family, Jess here with my business partner and co-founder Adonis McReynolds. And in today's video, we're talking about something very, very important for business owners, which is retainer versus contingency. And when you're hiring a recruiter to find talent for your business, which one is better? Hiring someone that you put on a retainer or hiring someone that you're putting on the contingency of finding that candidate? Of course, we do have our preferences, so we're going to talk about it now, and I'll give the floor to Adonis since that is his realm of expertise and he's been in recruiting for a decade. So he knows his stuff and he's going to tell you exactly why. So if you're a business owner, listen up because this could save you a lot of money and a lot of headaches in the future.
Yep, appreciate that, Jess. And I want to start off by saying this is a controversial subject. There are many companies out there who still work on contingency and believe that that's the right approach to doing business. What I'm going to share today is going to contradict that idea, and I'm going to give very, very logical and profound points that have to do with today's society and the ever-changing world that we're in. The logical points that I'm going to bring up are really kind of irrefutable if you look at what's going on in the market today. What you see a lot of is jobs that aren't real, that are being posted online. That's been notably observed by pretty much every candidate out there is starting to realize, oh my goodness, like there's a lot of fake jobs out there. Another thing that you're starting to see in the market is companies are putting on a show for investment money. This is not uncommon knowledge at this point. We've seen so many different types of postings where we're like, there's no way that this company is hiring this for the 7th, 10th, 12th consecutive time. So notable things are happening in the market like this where employers are showing up to be fraudulent. There's a lot more employers in the market today than there were even just a few years ago by necessity. A lot of people have been laid off over the course of the last 5 years, producing, new villains in the story, right? There's a lot of bad players in the market who, for retribution's sake or just trying to survive, are creating businesses and scamming people and not really taking this whole hiring process very seriously. So for anybody who is seeing this and realizing that this is true, if you can say amen, then this is going to be the basis for why I'm making the argument for retained recruitment. So are we ready, Jess? Are we ready to get started on some of these points?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to dive in.
All right. So first point, let's get into it. The first thing that working with a retained recruitment agency does is that it proves to the best candidates out there that you are serious about hiring someone. The best candidates out there are very, very aware of what's going on. They're starting to catch on to the fact that many of these contingency recruiters are being duped, right? And how do they know that they're being duped? Well, a lot of them don't have a direct relationship with the persons making the hiring decisions in the company. There's a lot of hearsay. Here's what they say that they're hiring, blah, 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 blah. And they say that, once they make the payment or once they get a person inside the seat, then I get paid on it, right? Here's the problem with that, though. Many, many, many companies out there are contacting contingency recruiters, legitimately seeking them out. I have heard conversations with executives sitting in a boardroom saying, how can we get more candidates on our lap that are highly qualified for this position? And specific members of executive boardrooms are saying, let's get contingency recruiters on the hook so we can receive candidates from them. And if we like what we see, or if there's several candidates that we like, we can save them into our database, contact them at a later time, or, we can see if maybe later on we can do business with them or something like that. There's a lot of deviant schemes, right, that are being passed around in boardrooms of let's get contingency recruiters so that way we can have the appearance, right, of looking one way or another. And poor candidates get reached out to by these people who are on the hook now, contingency recruiters who have been fooled into thinking that these are real jobs, that everything is completely purely motivated by interest in helping other people, et cetera, et cetera. Not saying that they're maliciously doing this or participating in this, but they're being fooled into thinking I'm going to get paid on this role. The company is looking to hire within this time frame. They contact candidates go on interviews, spend months of their time just laboring, trying to figure out how am I going to get in here and make a difference, all for the company to say we're canceling the search. This does not really happen in retained search. And the reason why is because when a company pays a recruiter upfront for their services, this is a statement. This is a statement that says we are invested in making sure that we hire great outside talent to find us people that we're actually intending to hire. Why would you spend a good amount of retainment money on a recruiter when you have no intention of hiring from that recruiter, right? That makes absolutely no sense. No one would do that who's in their right mind. And so this gives the candidate confidence. The best candidates in the market want to know if you're serious. And that is one of the best ways to ensure that your candidates know and understand he's committed. He's in a relationship with this recruiter. He's looking to make this hire. He's a serious contender in trying to make his business grow. Jess, have any comments on that point?
Yeah, exactly. Not only is it like serious, but it also is more ethical and more moral. So it is something like you should take into consideration when you're looking to be part of a company. Because if you want to work for a company that is completely fine with scamming people and fooling people to get ahead, then that's the type of values they're probably going to have. And then there's nothing stopping them from doing that to you in the future if they do hire you, or if they don't, it's just a huge waste of time. Whereas if you're working for someone that has a recruiter on retainer and they're very serious, they're upfront, they're honest, it just kind of more aligns with the values and morals that most people would want in a company. So it just kind of shows you like who the company is, what their culture is upfront as well. So I think that's also an important point to think about when you're talking to recruiters.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, everything you just said is 100% the truth. Really, at this point, the point that I just made about the confidence that candidates will receive from knowing that you are working with a retained recruiter, they're irrefutable points because of all of the pre-mentioned conspiracies, dramas, the track record we're seeing in the job market of these false jobs and employers that are trying to pull a fast one on people. So that's point one. The second point I want to make is the reverberation and effect and impact that this has on the recruiting talent that you're hiring, right? The people that are actually going out into the market and making incredible hires for you, helping you to make incredible hires. Guys like me, people like Jess, other recruiters around the world who work on retained or contingency. The fact of the matter is, when a person works on retained, right, there is a statement that is made to the recruiter in that transaction that I am putting my faith and trust in your ability to go out and do a good job for me. And so I'm rewarding you ahead of time for the work that you're going to be putting into this search. Tell me that that doesn't motivate a recruiter to be like, yeah, I want to help this person grow and be the very best company that they can be. Come on now, right? Like if a company's holding back and they're just like, no, we're not going to pay you anything for all of the services that you're going to do, for all the sit down meetings to discuss like the quality of the individual that you're bringing in and trying to understand the company culture. So that way, when the person gets hired, the recruiter was already able to tell you who this person is, how they fit in certain environments. There's just so many details that go into the work of recruiting. There's no recruiter that wouldn't appreciate and definitely have trust in a company that's paying them in advance for the services that they're going to provide. It would motivate someone like me. It motivates any recruiter to be like, yes, I want to serve this person. I want to do the very best that I can. In the opposite scenario, you have still the speculation that's circling around. Like there's a lot of uncertainty, and so where there's uncertainty, there's lack of greatness in performance. And so if a recruiter's working on a contingency basis, they're almost kind of like walking on eggshells already. They're like, okay, anything that I say, do, or don't do, or whatever, like I feel the pressure of losing this relationship. And so that's just not a healthy thing to be worried about when you're trying to do the very best you can to find talent. And it becomes a rush job, let's just be honest, because they know you could be working with 5, 6, 7 other people at the same time on the same basis, and it's just basically a race, like to just throw crap at the wall, right, and see what sticks. So again, just talking about recruiting performance and what actually improves recruitment performance is companies taking a bold stand and saying, based on the relationship that we have, research that we've done on you, and of course the offer that you're making, we accept this, we're going to pay you in advance, and we're going to build based off of what we have in terms of a relationship. And so that matters. And I think that if you don't have that, it's it's going to be very difficult for you as a business to really hire the way that you want to hire. You want to have that relationship with your recruiters, and you want your recruiters to trust you as a business. Anything to say on that matter, Jess?
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that point. And also, just as a business owner myself, I've worked with people on commission only, and I've worked with people that I've paid, and I've always had better results with the retainers. The problem with commission is that people, it's very flexible when it's commission. Like, because you're not paying them, like, you have to give them carte blanche to do whatever they want whenever they want. And it's just like a direct result of their efforts. So 99% of the time, it doesn't work out. Like 99% of the time, they ghost you, or the results are terrible because they don't really feel the motivation to want to work. So, some people can do it and it's great, and maybe for sales it's good, but I find for recruiting and other things, the retainer just gets you way better results. So in the long run, you're just losing money, because if you really do need somebody, and the point of hiring is because that person is going to make you money, then waiting and getting ghosted and this and that is just a waste of time, and it's going to be months and months down the line. So think about how much money you could have made with the right hire in that time, instead of just wasting all this time on contingencies.
That's right. That's right. The third point I'm going to bring up is specific to us, because this is how we operate, and this is what we believe is like the most important thing. We believe in saving companies money, in both in the long run and in the short term. We don't have exorbitant fees that are just untenable, right? Like, we're not going to charge you like $50,000 for a VP of sales, or like, some obscene amount for like a, director. Like, we're presenting some really high level people. And if you want to see our rates, I'll send them to you. I'm not going to talk about them right here, right now on the call. But the whole reason why we're able to give you these great rates is because we're expecting 100% that if you're working with us, we're working on retainer. And as a result of working on retainer, not only do you have our trust, but you also get a discount, a huge discount on how much money you're going to be saving in the long run and in the short term. So just know, working on retainer with us is actually going to help you save a ton more money in the long run in terms of what you're going to be paying for the finder's fee and what you're going to be paying up front. None of what we're offering on that basis is, super high at all. It's actually one of the most affordable and most attractive deals out there. So if you're looking for a way to save money, produce confidence in the candidates that you're hiring, hire recruiters that are motivated to work for you and who are going to do a great job, who specialize in hiring for specific positions that you need, let us know, and we will definitely set up a meeting with you to discuss all of the specifics of that. We would be happy to take your call. And it's 12 minutes in, going on 13 minutes. Any closing thoughts on this, Jess?
No, everything is great. I like you said, JobStream is really about helping people. So we try to always make sure our prices are right in the sweet spot of like the lowest it can possibly be, so we can live and pay our bills, but still make it affordable and useful to the people we serve. So we really are trying to help people. And that's why. So yeah, talk to us. And if you need any recruiting services, we are here. We have the expertise, and we're excited to help.
Amen and amen. We'll see you guys on the other side.